broadcast networks literally declined to air President Obama's primetime immigration speech back in 2014, stating that it would have been too divisive. But of course, all of the, for the most part, I believe that most of the primetime networks are going to be airing this, the Trump speech. So it's very strange to me that there is this very glaring double standard. But yeah, as networks grapple with whether President Trump's primetime address to the nation on Tuesday night, whether they want to air it or not, we must remember that if they do take a stand against the billionaire, it would not be entirely without precedent. As many have pointed out, President Obama had an immigration address he wanted to deliver to the American people from the Oval Office in 2014, and executives from several networks, however, told him no. The speech, of course, did go ahead, but most Americans didn't watch. President Obama will address the nation tomorrow morning on new steps he's taking to fix our broken immigration system, the White House said at the time, in language that almost mirrors the current debate over the issue. The Washington Post wrote about it, the address was aired on the cable networks. It wasn't the rating concerns just 5 years ago. Evidence suggests that the networks were keenly aware of the politics of the speech, as the Washington Post and Politico also pointed out. There was an agreement among the broadcast networks as this was overtly political. A network insider told Politico. So now, what's really interesting to me, about the Donald Trump speech in comparison to what we know about the Obama immigration speech at the time, which I can't really remember the exact details on. Before the Trump speech even is, Trump speech is even slated to begin, there was speculation on whether or not he was going to institute a national emergency, so that declared a state of emergency so that he could actually fund the fucking wall. Just incredibly psychotic nonsense, of course. But even beyond that, I believe that there were some ads that have already been running on Fox News and other networks. And I want to play you one of these ads, okay? Just to get a better understanding of what kind of subjects Trump is going to be talking about, okay? So ahead of his speech tonight, the Trump campaign is airing a pretty racist and pretty fear-mongering ad. And it features all of the beautiful things that you would expect from a Trump ad about immigration. So let's take a look. I mean, I'm sure it's not racist. Let's just take a... Oh, wait. Never mind.
Violent criminals and child traffickers trying to enter our country. But Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer care more about the radical left than keeping us safe. The consequences? Drug deaths, violent murder.
First of all, let's just immediately, this is 3 illegal immigrants indicted for murder is a singular instance. Love that they were, while you guys already know that undocumented citizens cause crime at lower rates than documented immigrants, and also natural-born U.S. citizens, with multiple studies backing up this information. Of course, they chose to use 3 illegal immigrants indicted for murder. Okay. Sick propaganda, Fox News. Thank you.
Violent murder, gang violence.
MS-13 gang member guilty in quadruple murder. They do this all the time. They like cherry pick one fucking high-profile story that is covered, of course. And by the way, I love that they're saying that these guys are the radical left.
Consequences, drug deaths, violent.
And also the drug deaths. I love this. ER visits for opioid overdoses soaring, says CDC. Love that the opioid overdoses are a consequence of illegal drugs. It doesn't. How do they get started off with these opioid abuses? I don't know. It seems to me like there's a pretty obvious reason why we have this issue to begin with. I believe overprescription was a big issue. I think that's what happens when you include the profit motive in something as something that's supposed to be ethically sound, like medicine, the field of medicine, or the field of healthcare in general. So maybe that has more to do with the fact that opioid overdoses are soaring, and not because not because there's drugs coming over the border or whatever. Well, I mean, there are drugs coming over the border. If we're going to talk about that also, let me just say that there are absolutely drugs coming over the border. But 98% of those drugs that are coming over the southern border, which is the almost almost all of the drugs that are coming into America, almost all the opioids that are coming into America are coming in from the
I'm
southern
not
border.
God.
However, there's a catch to that, of course, as there is with everything else. The overwhelming majority, the 98% of those drugs are coming in through regular ports of entry. So obviously, a fucking wall would not fix anything. But that doesn't matter. Okay? None of this matters. It's just more important. It's just more important to be racist. So let's just keep lying and keep making it seem like it's just immigrants that are causing these problems. Okay, let's keep going, brothers. K Kona all the way.
Violent murder, gang violence. We must not allow it. Every country defends their borders. President Trump wants to defend ours. The Democrats must stop playing politics and support real border security now.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
This shit boils my blood, dude.
There's a new meme on Destiny's subreddit called Piss on the Unshackled.
All right. Thank you, George Soros, for the $5 dono. I'll take a look at it in a second. So there's a couple of things that I want to address with it, especially the last point, which is that Democrats need to stop playing politics. Now, what does that mean? Okay? What the fuck does that mean when the Republicans are deliberately lying about what is coming over the border, when more than 50% of undocumented citizens that are arriving at the United States now are not coming in from our southern border, but actually are just overstaying their visas. What does that mean? So why are they playing this angle as though like the wall will solve all of these problems when it's not going to do anything and it's just symbolism and it's going to be expensive as fuck? It's not going to be $5 billion. It's probably going to be, at the most conservative estimate, $21 billion. That number rises all the way to $120 billion with $150 million a year just to upkeep the wall. So there are all of these insane estimates being thrown around. Why are we trying to do this? If more than 50% of the new illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants that are coming into this country are just border overstayers. Well, if you ask them, they just lie and they say terror now, which is an insane thing. The newest lie that they told was the 4,000 terrorist number, which is not backed by anything. Even their own Department of Homeland Security has said, yeah, no, that's not true. Like, at least if you're going to lie, why don't you just like make sure that the other departments that you have control over lie alongside of you to make sure that your message is at least consistent. So this is something that I don't understand. Republicans actively try to undermine or ruin the confidence that we might have as a populace on our media, on our institutions. And yet they refuse to, like, I mean, I guess they're, like, too stupid to fucking lie. Like, I don't understand it. You know, Democrats are better at this shit. I really do think Democrats are better at being violent, bloodthirsty vultures, but then also at least, like, lying to your face in a more polite fashion. Whereas Republicans are just like, it's the immigrants. They're coming to fucking rape your daughter. Like, literally, just, I don't understand. They're not even hiding it. They're not even trying to be, nice. They're not even trying to. Did you see any single benefit to the wall, or where else would you have the money go? I don't see any single benefit to the wall. It is just a piece of racist symbolism. I've already said this. Look, our border policies now are just fucking stress testing. Okay, they're essentially stress testing what our foreign policy is going to look like under an earth that is essentially on fire or underwater. Okay, anthropogenic climate change and its obvious consequences are going to continue causing mass migration at levels that even I, an open borders advocate, would have to turn around and say, hey, this is unsustainable. Okay, and what you're seeing right now, what you're seeing, the Honduran mother or the mother from Guatemala with their daughters getting gassed getting tear gas at the border as we close off our borders to ensure that they cannot step on U.S. soil in an effort to make sure that we can find a loophole and ensure that none of these legal asylum seekers can ever be processed. Because that's why we need a wall. That's why we're trying to close off the border. Because as soon as they set on U.S. soil, we have to process them. That is precisely why these motherfuckers are tear gassing them and closing up the borders and shutting them down and then making it seem like they're the violent ones. So that is going to be our foreign policy in the future. When the material conditions in Latin American countries are eradicating as a consequence of imperialism, but also a consequence of exploitation, most importantly, a consequence of climate change, where are these people going to go? They're going to go north. They're going to try to come into the United States. And you know what? This is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to do more violent things. Especially because right now, we have enough money to make sure that we can help out every American citizen, okay? We have enough wealth in this country. We generate enough wealth in this country. We have enough automation to help every single American citizen, okay? We don't do that, of course, because capitalism and you know, it's not profitable and it doesn't make any sense. We have enough wealth to then greatly improve the material conditions of Latin American countries. But we're not doing that either. But currently, as it stands, the influx of immigrants that is leveled out at this point since the 90s is totally sustainable if we were to actually allow these people to become citizens, okay? Allow them to become comrades, allow them to become other laborers, to fight alongside the white working class that desires higher wages, that constantly talks about how immigration is the reason why we're seeing our depressed wages. It has nothing to do with the fact that, you know, profit is depressing wages as best as possible, and the conditions around us allow the American population to work at such low wages in comparison to where they should be right now, in comparison to how much profit we are generating. So the issue, I guess, is redistribution. The issue is not immigration. Immigration is just a red herring, okay? Immigration is just something to point the finger to and place all of the blame at. But immigration is not the problem. Both illegal and legal immigration is not the problem at all. So everything that we're talking about right now, tonight, on the State of the Union, or everything that we've talked about so far as immigration policy from the Republican side and the Democratic side, it's all bullshit, okay? It's all absolute bullshit. The easiest way to notice that it's all absolute bullshit is what? Immigrants are both simultaneously the best job stealers because they like to work 7 jobs at the same time. So they're stealing all of the hardworking Americans' jobs. But then also they're stealing our welfare because they don't work hard enough. They just want to steal our welfare. So which one is it? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Whatever sticks into whatever conversation, okay? Tonight isn't a soda. It's just an impromptu address the nation. All right, whatever. Yeah, you're right. It's not a State of the Union. I should probably change that. It's just like an easier way. Address the nation. Thank you, though. So yeah, that's what I false reporting again, Hassan. Disappointed. Fuck you, okay? Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm kidding. Okay, so where were we? Hasanabi, is tonight the big night where you and Destiny fuck? Who knows, dude? Wouldn't you say we have bigger problems than a wall, free education, or anything when we have a system written by people who believe a ban Anna is $10? The media steers arguments in a divide, and Trump plays it like a fiddle. So the root cause is more. I don't even know what that is. Anyway. What's a banana? Oh, who believe a banana is $10. Oh my God. Why did you do that to me? Why did you do that to me? You did that to me. Okay, for the record, just so everyone knows, like, that was an XQC moment. But just for the record, just so everyone knows, it has a space in between on my screen, okay? I just want to... Okay, English is my second language, you xenophobic cucks. Fuck you guys. You're all a bunch of fucking xenophobes, okay? Disgusting. Disgusting that I'm sitting here and talking to 2,370 of you, trying to describe to you what is the problem, what is the actual problem, and what are some real solutions to all of the anxiety, the economic anxiety that American people feel. And yet, here you are showing me the perfect representation of a bunch of educated fools who think that they know everything, and yet they still fall into that same trap of xenophobia because what? There is a space in between Ban and Anna? Time to watch the no bullshit debate. Get your memes ready, boys. We're not going to watch the no bullshit debate right now, unfortunately. Should we try... Oh, fuck, I can't read. Irish laddie probably preferred Trump to be president over Bernie because he wants to shoot Dan against Trump's wall in a video game. I was thinking about that. I lost to a banana like a 1930s cartoon. I, too, slipped on a banana and lost. Why is it whenever someone has a long response that's serious, you assume is copy pasta? I was serious the other day when I requested a debate with you, and you laughed it off twice. Once for being original and assuming it was a copy pasta, another time for missmelling communist. I'm not banned on the main account for simply asking for a debate. Guy, I'll debate you. I'm not going to do it when you want me to do it. I'm going to do it when I want to do it. Like, how self-important are you? There's almost 2,500 people in here. Why do you think anyone wants to hear your dumbass perspectives? Like, of course they're gonna copy paste and make fun of you for assuming that you would be so important as to why I would talk to you right now, why I would entertain you on your own time rather than on my own time, on my own fucking stream. Like, imagine going up to Jake Tapper and be like, listen up, Jake Tapper. I know you think you tap some asses, but here's what the real facts are, okay? You and we're going to have a conversation right now. Okay, I'll look at the memes on the fucking Reddit. Holy shit, you guys. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, here. Let's look at the fucking memes on the old Hassan Piker fucking subreddit real quick, okay? I already upvoted all of them. I already watched most of them. This is how Mafia works. Level 1 crook. Level 35 boss. And that's how Mafia works. Isn't this a PewDiePie meme? I feel like I've seen this on a PewDiePie. This guy thinks he's as important as Jake Tapper. I'm more important than Jake Tapper, bitch. Give me a break. This is great, of course. I think this is very funny. Level 1 crook, level 35 Mafia boss. I think this is very funny until you arrive at this part of the Are you happy? Are you happy? No more memes. No more memes. I'm done with memes. Okay? I'm fucking done, dude. I'm fucking done with memes. All you guys want to do... What is this? Can we spread this around, please?
People, if they have the right to bear arms in order to prevent it's a very simple argument.
I know this. This is one of my favorite Ben Shapiro arguments of all time. I think he's literally going to say, he's literally about to say like we should arm the citizenry with RPGs, right?
It's a very simple argument from my point of view, and that is that people, if they have the right to bear arms in order to prevent tyranny, then that goes for arms to prevent. That goes to the ultimate limit of that is the arms necessary to prevent. Basically, you can own any arm that is necessary.
I mean, I fuck up a lot, so I can't make fun of him. At some point, I believe he literally makes an argument for RPGs, by the way, just so you know. I said, you bastards. Got him. Ha, get wrecked, you fucking commie cuck. Just kidding, Hassan. I love you. Please, no bully. I don't understand this. Is Destiny's pick real? Is it real? I don't know what the fuck's up with Destiny in that photo. What hairline? Hassan's pick is really good. I didn't realize the hairline was edited until Hassan wrote the comment. What hairline? Says Sauron2403. Really funny. Fuck you, Warger. How about that? Hassan's debate about rent control last night made me sad. Oh my god. I watched this, by the way. I'm so beefed up. I'm so beefed up for the fucking rent control, dude. Oh my god. Okay, fuck the memes. Alright, calm the fuck down, brothers and sisters. I'm going to live stream it. Hold on. Alright, where the fuck should I watch it? I'm not gonna restream Twitch. I'm not gonna restream Gene's Washington Post channel. I'm gonna do it off of Fox News probably. Actually, fuck that. I'm not gonna do it off Fox News either. I'm gonna do it off of Now This, which will probably also feature like live fact checking or whatever. I just don't wanna do it off of. I don't want to do it off of another Twitch channel because it's probably a TOS.
266,000 arrests of aliens with criminal records, including those charged or convicted of 100,000 assaults, 30,000 sex crimes, and 4,000 violent killings. Over the years, thousands of Americans have been brutally killed by those who illegally entered our country, and thousands more lives will be lost if we don't act right now. This is a humanitarian crisis, a crisis of the heart and a crisis of the soul. Last month, 20,000 migrant children were illegally brought into the United States.
What?
A dramatic increase. These children are used as human pawns by vicious coyotes and ruthless gangs. 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted on the dangerous trek up through Mexico. Women and children are the biggest victims, by far, of our broken system.
Guys, Trump is so compassionate. He's literally fucking gassing them, dude.
This is the tragic reality of illegal immigration on our southern border. This is the cycle of human suffering that I am determined to end. My administration has presented Congress with a detailed proposal to secure the border and stop the criminal gangs, drug smugglers, and human traffickers. It's a tremendous problem. Our proposal was developed by law enforcement professionals and border agents at the Department of Homeland Security. These are the resources they have requested to properly perform their mission and keep America safe. In fact, safer than ever before. The proposal from Homeland Security includes cutting-edge technology for detecting drugs, weapons, illegal contraband, and many other things. We have requested more agents, immigration judges, and bed space to process the sharp rise in unlawful migration fueled by our very strong economy. Our plan also contains an urgent request for humanitarian assistance and medical support.
In the form of a
Furthermore,
border
we have
wall.
asked Congress to close border security loopholes so that illegal immigrant children can be safely and humanely returned back home. Finally, as part of it,
We literally separated thousands, and some of them will never be returned back to their parents.
for a physical barrier. At the request of Democrats, it will be a steel barrier rather than a concrete wall. This barrier is absolutely critical to border security. It's also what our professionals at the border want and need. This is just common sense. The border wall would very quickly pay for itself. The cost of illegal drugs exceeds $500 billion a year, vastly more than the $5.7
They're not going through the
billion
fucking
we
wall,
have
dude.
requested from
They're not
Congress.
going through the
The
wall.
wall will also be paid for indirectly by the great new trade deal we have made with Mexico. Senator Chuck Schumer, who you will be hearing from later tonight, has repeatedly supported a physical barrier in the past, along with many other Democrats. They changed their mind only after I was elected president. Democrats in Congress have refused to acknowledge the crisis, and they have refused to provide our brave border agents with the tools they desperately need to protect our families and our nation.
Remember?
The federal government remains shut down.
Remember?
One reason, and one reason only, because Democrats will not fund border security. My administration is doing everything in our power to help those impacted by the situation. But the only solution is for Democrats to pass a spending bill that defends our borders and reopens the government. This situation could be solved in a 45-minute meeting. I have invited congressional leadership to the White House tomorrow to get this done. Hopefully, we can rise above partisan politics in order to support national security. Some have suggested a barrier is immoral. Then why do wealthy politicians build walls, fences, and gates around
He's
their
going to say,
homes?
why do you put a gator on your
They
house?
don't build walls because they hate the people on the outside, but because they love the people on the inside. The only thing that is immoral is the politicians to do nothing and continue to allow more innocent people to be so horribly victimized. America's heart broke the day
You say you hate borders, and yet you put a border around your bathroom so I can't see your dick. Owned. Logic.
in cold blood by an illegal alien who just came across the border. The life of an American hero was stolen by someone who had no right to be in our country. Day after day, precious lives are cut short by those who have violated our borders. In California, an Air Force veteran was raped, murdered, and beaten to death with a hammer by an illegal alien with a long criminal history. In Georgia, an illegal alien was recently charged with murder for killing, beheading, and dismembering his neighbor. In Maryland, MS-13 gang members who arrived in the United States as unaccompanied minors were arrested and charged last year after viciously stabbing and beating a 16-year-old girl. Over the last several years, I've met with dozens of families whose loved ones were stolen by illegal immigration. I've held the hands of the weeping mothers and embraced the grief-stricken fathers. So sad, so terrible. I will never forget the pain in their eyes, the tremble in their voices, and the sadness gripping their souls. How much more American blood must we shed before Congress does its job? To those who refuse to compromise in the name of border security, I would ask, imagine if it was your child, your husband, or your wife whose life was so cruelly shattered and totally broken. To every member of Congress, pass a bill that ends this crisis. To every citizen, call Congress and tell them to finally, after all of these decades, secure our border. This is a choice between right and wrong, justice and injustice. This is about whether we fulfill our sacred duty to the American citizens we serve. When I took the oath of office, I swore to protect our country, and that is what I will always do. So help me God. Thank you and good night.
All right, there you have it. There's President Donald Trump, first address to the nation there in the Oval Office. Went about 9 minutes or so. It's time to check the facts, see if he was compelling and was what he said correct. We're going to have a response from the Democratic leaders coming up. But right now, let's bring in Chief National Correspondent John King. And we have one of the best fact checkers out there, Toronto Star Washington correspondent.
I already fucking hate this, dude. I already fucking hate this because they're already making it seem as though Trump, well, we're about to find out if our president just fear-mongered to millions of Americans using the bully pulpit in one of the more damaging speeches any president has ever given in the country. Instead of that, they literally are like, well, we're about to find out if this is a good speech or not. Okay. Like, holy shit. Let's see. Okay.
Daniel Dale, first to you. Did he get it done?
He created a sense of crisis and urgency along the way. He on other programs. The president also said this is powerful when he talks about these heinous, unacceptable, reprehensible crimes, murders, assaults committed by people illegally in this country. No question, they're heinous and reprehensible. But the statistics show you that the crime rate among immigrants is actually lower than the crime rate among non-immigrants. So that's cherry picking and seizing and trying to create an emotional response. He also talked about the economic impact. They're taking jobs from especially African Americans and Latinos. A lot of American corporations would tell you right now, they can't find workers. They're desperate for workers, in part because of a strong economy this president should be claiming credit for. So on the one hand, he's kind of biting into his own success to make this point.
What came out to you? You were looking in the right and wrong category.
Well, you don't need me. You have John King. I thought I did a great job there. But there were a couple others. You know, he said at the Democrats' request, we will make this a steel barrier. This was not a Democratic request. This is something that Trump has claimed will satisfy Democrats. You know, it's not going to be concrete. It's going to be steel. Nobody asked for this. Democrats' problem is not the material. It's the project. He also implicitly referred again to the Obama's house. Didn't name them, but said powerful,
people who build walls and gates outside their homes. Why do they do it?
Yes, the Obamas, of course, still have significant Secret Service protection.
Yo, get the fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Every previous president has Secret Service protection to this day. If you don't know this, you're a fucking moron. Or maybe you're not a moron. I didn't know this either when I found out about George W. Bush is still having Secret Service protection. Like, past presidents have Secret Service protection. But just because people don't know this exists doesn't mean that this is, like, something you can use to be like, oh, my God, well, how come the Barack Obamas of the world get to have Secret Service protection, and yet, we can't have Secret Service protecting our borders? Like, is it the same? Is a border the same as a house? Are we putting fucking borders around our towns going forward? Should we put borders around fucking states? Why aren't we putting borders inside of the country then? We should be putting borders everywhere. And by Borders, I mean Borders, the bookstore, which is really good, and I wish we would go back to it. I really miss it. When I was younger, I used to go to Borders all the time, and Barnes & Noble as well, and read manga and other comic books. Anyway, but seriously, it's just so fucking stupid, dude. Like, this argument that, like, oh, well, you claim to hate, you say that you hate borders and barriers, and yet you put a barrier on your body so I can't see you naked. Like, this is not an argument, okay? This is not a fucking argument. I'm not going to watch the stupid Pelosi speech either, by the way, okay? I'm not going to do that right now. I don't care. Okay, where are we? Where's the Bernie response? Is it out yet? Schumer and Pelosi. Ah, fuck it. We'll watch the Schumer and Pelosi ones, all right? Why isn't there any audio? I don't get it.
Sadly, much of what we heard from President Trump throughout this census shutdown has been full of misinformation and even malice. The president has chosen fear. We want to start with the facts. The fact is, on the very first day of this Congress, House Democrats passed Senate Republican legislation to reopen government and fund smart, effective border security solutions.
Okay, do you want to know why I didn't want to fucking watch this? Do you want to know why I don't watch this? Who gives a fuck, dude? All of this is dumb as shit. They're not checking facts at all. If you want to feel better about yourself because we think that the Democratic side is more reasonable, like, look at these idiots, dude. Look at this shit. Honestly, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer right now should be burning an American flag. They should be turning around, burning an American flag and going, this is what we want to do in America right now. This is how Americans fucking feel. Rather than going, oh, well, we actually passed a comprehensive legislation to ensure that the funding continues. Also, have you heard about this policy called PAYGO? That's pretty good. Well, PAYGO will actually technically stop us from doing anything as progressives, of course, because we're just going to keep hurting ourselves for these sorts of policies. I mean, Democrats, am I right? Let's return to normalcy.
These bipartisan bills, which would reopen.
We're gonna pass. See, wait, the part I skipped. She literally said bipartisan bills, dude.
Unauthorized crossings. The fact humanitarian challenge, a challenge that President Trump's own cruel and counterproductive policies have only deepened. And the fact is, President Trump must stop holding the American people hostage, must stop manufacturing a crisis, and must reopen the government. Thank you.
Yo, we're such cucks, dude. Oh, here, the fucking cucklord of all, the biggest cucklord of all, dude. Here, what are you gonna say, you stupid bitch? God,
having failed to get Mexico to pay for
God, I hate Chuck Schumer so much. Oh my God.
And unable to convince the Congress or the American people to foot the bill, has shut down the government. American democracy doesn't work that way. We don't govern by temper tantrum. No president should pound the table and demand he gets his way, or else the government shuts down, hurting millions of Americans who are treated as leverage. Tonight, and throughout this debate and throughout his presidency, President Trump has appealed to fear, not facts, division, not unity. Make no mistake, Democrats and the president both want stronger border security. However,
just don't say that. Don't even say that, dude. Just don't even fucking say that. Just say that it's a lie. The fact that immigrants are causing problems in this country is a lie. America is a nation of immigrants. Every single person, including Trump's ugly ass fucking grandparents, came here as immigrants, okay? The fact that we are treating certain citizens as though they are illegal is a lie. It's gross. It is the most un-American thing I've ever heard. But to turn around and be like, oh, we also want bigger borders. Like, we want the better borders, too. Like, fucking, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you conceding to fascists? Why are you conceding to fascists? I do not understand. This makes no sense whatsoever, dude. This makes no sense whatsoever. You look like a bunch of fucking idiots. Trump did his, like, racial agitation. He already did the racial agitative propaganda. And now you're just, all you're doing is, like, conceding to the fucking
way to do it. So,
there's a better way to do it.
In his administration. My fellow Americans, there is no challenge so great that our nation cannot rise to meet it. We can reopen the government and continue to work through disagreements over policy. We can secure our border without an ineffective, expensive wall. And we can welcome legal immigrants and refugees without compromising safety and security. The symbol of America should be the Statue of Liberty, not a 30-foot wall. So our suggestion is a simple one.
So shitty, dude.
Mr.
Fuck the
President,
Statue of Liberty. And
reopen
fuck
the
Chuck
government,
Schumer.
and we
Look at
can
the amount
work
of
to
likes that are
resolve our
being thrown right
differences
now.
over
There's like
border
5
security.
people liking this.
End this shutdown now. Thank you.
President, sir, end this shutdown now. Oh, fuck, I hate this so much. Okay. Honestly, okay. Just purge the Democrats in the chat right now, okay? Purge the fucking Democrats in the chat. Because I'm about to say some shit. Just leave. If you don't want to hear me fucking say some shit about establishment Democrats, just leave. Because I'm going to be very ruthless, okay? I'm going to be more ruthless to the Democrats than I will be to Donald Trump. Because we know Donald Trump, okay? Donald Trump is a proto-fascist. Donald Trump is setting the groundwork for a more intelligent, more racist fascist to come in and seize control,
Excuse
okay?
me. I'm sorry. I'm out of control. I
The
apologize.
Democrats, on the other hand, and the neoliberals are the reason why a figurehead like Donald Trump can go out there and fucking scream
Excuse
for
me.
the bully
I'm
pulpit
sorry.
and
I'm
talk
out of
about
control. I
how
apologize for that.
and essentially fucking recite the 14 words from the bully pulpit. The only reason why Donald Trump can do that is because the other side is ineffective and a bunch of fucking cucklords, okay? And that's precisely what the Dems are doing. This is not the left eating itself. This is the left's inability to fucking fight back, dude. This is the left's inability to fight back to someone like Donald Trump. On the one side, Donald Trump is literally tossing Molotov cocktails, and on the other side, you're trying to stop the fire by spitting on it. Like that's what it looks like. This is part of the reason why no one likes the Democrats. It's like playing chess while Donald Trump is like flipping the fucking board.
I'm not God.
His Sandbensicle.
Thank you, iCooley, for the subscription. Thank you, Darth Dookie, for the subscription. And, yeah. And,
Excuse me. I'm
Government
sorry.
Mass, thank you for the
I'm out of
subscription.
control. I apologize for that.
BBB, Brandon B, thank you for resubscribing with a tier 1 sub, or subscription with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. Anyway, so here, let's see what else is going on. Isn't there a Bernie speech as well? I would love to see the fucking Bernie Sanders speech rather than anything else.
I'm out of control.
Thank you, Arctic
for
Yeti,
that.
for the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you. By the way, if you guys have Twitch Prime subs, here, get them out right now, boys and girls. Use your Twitch Prime subs as we paint the streets red. If you want to avoid your, if you want to avoid it.
Excuse me.
Thank you,
sorry.
Orcot Fishing.
I'm out of control. I apologize.
Thank you, thank
for
you,
that.
thank you for the. Thank you for the Twitch Prime subs, everybody. Anyway, okay, Bernie should have been.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm out of control.
Okay. Sorry, I gotta change something really quickly.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm out of control. I apologize for that. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Holy
I'm
shit.
out of control. I apologize for that.
Okay. Watch the Bernie answer. Okay. Bernie Sanders
Excuse me.
answer.
I'm sorry. I'm out of control.
Thank
I
you,
apologize for that.
KBRS4, for gifting 5 tier 1 subs in the community. Thank you so much, KBRS4. Thank you. Okay, where's Bernie Sanders? Wait, what is going on? I fucked up.
I still have to go to my federal job. End of quote. And she speaks for thousands of federal
Communism.
Our federal employees
Thank you.
deserve to be treated with respect, not held hostage as political
Bernie's got that
pawns.
scuffed ass mic.
Further, if this government shutdown continues, and Trump has indicated that he is prepared to shut it down for months, if not years, millions of Americans, including the disabled, the children, and the elderly, may not be able to get the food stamps they need to eat. Pregnant mothers and their babies may go without the nutrition assistance they need to stay healthy, as the WIC program is on the verge of running out of money. Small businesses
encounter thousands of illegal immigrants trying to enter our country. We are out.
And some may go out of business. Security at our nation's airports could be threatened if TSA employees and air control traffic controllers are not getting paid. People who are buying or selling their homes may see significant delays.
I'm not gonna lie.
Housing
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The Bernie Sanders argument is kind of weak too. It's Bernie's such a fucking old man, dude. Holy shit. This is what he's like. Well, you know, the TSA is not going to work, and if you want to get your soup, you're not going to be able to get it. And honestly, I have a big problem with that as well. It's like, dude, just talk about the issue, dude. This is what they did. They did the racial agitation. You have to fucking turn around and address the racial agitation instead of talking about how, I mean, maybe I missed it. Maybe he started off with that. But, like, spending 15 minutes on all of the people who are going to lose their jobs without talking about what the stakes are on the other side.
Remain open. Unfortunately, President Trump, who started receiving criticism from an assortment of right-wing ideologues, changed his mind about the agreement and said that he would not sign any bill unless it included $5.7 billion for a wall on the southern border. And by the way, the total cost of that wall could run as high as $70 billion. In terms of this shutdown,
that's a lot of money.
President Trump has made it very clear who is responsible. As you will all recall, in a very public meeting he held in the Oval Office, he said, and I quote, this is quoting Donald Trump, quote, "I am proud to shut down the government. I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you, Chuck Schumer, for it." End of quote. On January 3rd, 2019, on their first day in the majority, the Democrats in the House passed legislation to reopen the government. This was exactly the same bill unanimously passed by the Senate. Tonight, I urge Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to allow that bill to come to the floor for a vote. This is the same bill that Mr. McConnell supported when it was unanimously passed in the Senate. Senator McConnell, let's vote to end this shutdown now in a bipartisan way. President Trump tonight has told us why he believes we need the wall. It gives me no pleasure to tell you what most of you already know, and that is that President Trump lies all of the time. And in his remarks tonight and in recent weeks regarding immigration and the wall, he continues to lie. Just a few examples.
Okay, good,
Trump
good. This
has
is
told the American people several hundred times, and he mentioned it tonight, that Mexico would pay for the wall. That's a lie. If this wall were to be built, Mexico would not pay for it. American taxpayers would. Trump said...
That's the lie we're going with first? That he lied about who pays for it?
Entering the United States from the southern border. That is also a lie.
Okay, good.
According to a State Department report released in September, quote, "At year's end, there was no credible evidence indicating that international terrorist groups have sent operatives via Mexico into the United States," end of quote. That's not Bernie Sanders' opinion. That is a direct quote from Trump's own State Department. Trump recently said that some ex-presidents told him that they should have built a wall. That is a lie. All 4 living ex-presidents have stated clearly that they never talked to Trump about their desire to build a wall. Trump said that we need a wall to prevent heroin, fentanyl, and other illegal drugs from coming into the country. another lie. According to Donald Trump's own Drug Enforcement Administration, the most common method Mexican cartels use to transport illegal drugs over the southwest border is through legal ports of entry using passenger vehicles. And on it goes. In terms of immigration in this country, what we need to do is not to waste billions of dollars on a wall, but to finally address the need for comprehensive immigration reform, including improved border security. It is inhumane that tiny children at the border have been torn away from their parents. It is disgraceful that 1.8 million young people raised in the United States and who know no other country but the United States have lost their legal protection under the DACA program because of Trump's actions. It is heartbreaking that almost 11 million undocumented people living in this country, the overwhelming majority of whom are hardworking and law-abiding, worry every day about being deported and separated from their loved ones. Sadly, what President Trump is trying to do is to create fear and hatred in our country. Instead of trying to bring us together as a people, he is trying to divide us up. And in the process, divert our attention away from the real crises facing
capitalism,
the working families of this nation. President Trump, you want to talk about crises? At a time of massive income and wealth inequality, tens of millions of our workers are earning starvation wages and are unable to adequately provide for their families. That's a crisis. You want to talk about a national emergency? 30 million Americans have no health insurance, and many more are underinsured. Thousands die each year because they don't go to a doctor when they should. And our life expectancy in this country is actually in decline. While the pharmaceutical industry makes tens of billions of dollars a year in profit, 1 in 5 Americans can't afford the medicine they need. Now that is a crisis we should be working on right now. And here's another crisis. Too many of our seniors are living in desperate poverty, and about half of older Americans have no retirement savings. Hundreds of thousands of young people cannot afford to go to college in this country, and over 40 million are trying to deal with the outrageous levels of student debt they are experiencing. What are we going to do about those crises? And maybe here's the biggest crisis of all. The scientific community has made it very clear in telling us that climate change is real and is causing devastating harm to our country and the entire planet. And they have told us in no uncertain terms that if we do not transform our energy system away from fossil fuel, our nation and our planet, and the planet we will be leaving our kids and grandchildren, may well become unhealthy and even uninhabitable in the not so distant future. Mr. President, we don't need to create artificial crises. We have enough real crises. Let us end this shutdown and bring the American people together around an agenda that will improve life for all of our people.
Okay, that certainly went to a place that was much better later throughout the address. Holy shit. At first, I thought he was going to do the dumbass, like, look at all these people who are not able to get their jobs right now. Look at all these, look at the fact that Mexico, look at the fact that Trump said that Mexico was going to pay for the wall, and he's actually not. Following up on that promise made me feel like it was going to be a little bit too light, but that's exactly, Bernie Sanders hit almost every single point that I hit before the Trump speech even started, which is good because those are the right points to hit. Those are the actual issues that we're facing. The actual issues that American citizens are facing right now have nothing to do with immigration. The reason why they have to, the reason why Trump has to hammer on anecdotes and try to drive an emotion, try to get you to be emotional and react in an emotional way when it comes to the issue of immigration and crime, is because actual data bears out that immigrants are not, or illegal immigrants are not causing more crime. They're actually, as a matter of fact, causing less crime than natural-born citizens. So this is everything that we talk about in this respect is an outright fucking lie. Same with the drugs. Same with everything else. So, of course, I've been emotional throughout this entire time. That's
Excuse
why
me.
people
I'm
enjoy
sorry.
watching my
I'm out of
content.
control.
I get
apologize
emotional
for that.
on these sorts of issues because I love this country. I came to this fucking country thinking that this is the best fucking place I could ever live, and maybe I was lied to a little bit, but you know, I'm still trying to make it better because this country, more importantly, has the power to make all of the other countries better as well. As the leading nation of the world, or the leader of the free world, the United States has a very unique property. United States has the power to genuinely enact some sort of positive change around the planet and change the world for the better. So that's why I believe that we have to reform, or not just reform, but we have to have a serious revolution. So, okay. We got that power through violence, and I completely understand that. But what has happened, and we must answer for the violence of the past, and we must right all of our wrongs from our history.
Excuse me.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean the current reality is that we have this fucking power. We should be using it for good. That's part of the reason why I advocate for electoralism here in the United States rather than awaiting a fucking revolution as an accelerationist. Anyway. Are you not going out to eat with Destiny? No, I am going to go out to eat with Destiny, of course. I just wanted to wait till this fucking the speech was over. Hold on, I'm going to text Destiny right now and see if he's like heading over there right now. You're such a cuck, dude. Anyway, what's really frustrating to me, though, what's really, really frustrating to me, like above everything else that we just saw, is the difference between rhetoric and tone with Donald Trump's speech, where he's fear-mongering deliberately but also incredibly effectively, where he's saying a bunch of awful racist bullshit, lying, and fear-mongering, and making it seem as though immigrants are coming and like killing our babies and our children and our military service members, our veterans. Like, none of this is factual. None of this is factually correct. Like, this is insane. All human beings are capable of committing crime. You have to look at it. If you're going to look at a specific group, you have to look at the data. You have to analyze the data and realize that undocumented citizens are still causing crime at much, much lower rates in comparison to U.S.-born, naturalized U.S. citizens and U.S.-born citizens. So, are you and Destiny going to... Okay, chill. Anyway, this is not an orange man bad conversation, you fucking dumbass Republicans who are in the chat right now thinking that I'm so triggered. Look at how fucking triggered I am. Everything I talk about pertains to your future as well. You understand that, right? When we advocate for universal health care coverage, we're not advocating for universal health care for libcucks only. We're advocating for those fucking fat, dumbass, diabetic Republicans in the South, too, who desperately need it in those goddamn red states that didn't expand Medicare didn't expand Medicaid because they fucking hated Barack Obama. Like, you stupid fucking idiots, dude. All of you are so fucking stupid that if technological advancements had not occurred already, you would have all been desecrated in the natural evolutionary process, okay? Natural selection would have gotten to all of you already. You stupid fucks. Without the blue states picking up the fucking cost for all of your failures, for all of the experiments that we conduct in places like Kansas and Oklahoma, all of the austerity experiments that we conduct in these places, lowering the fucking quality of life dramatically, lowering education outcomes dramatically, lowering healthcare outcomes dramatically, without the blue states who are actually fucking producing, you would all die, okay? all of you would die. You have nothing. You stupid fucking conservatives. This doesn't pertain to all conservatives, but like so many of you think you're so many of you have this weird notion that you're the backbone of the United States. You would literally die. You would literally die without California. Anyway.
Tell it.
I'm not vegan, no. I hope you're all triggered so fucking hard right now.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm out of control.
A lot of you in this chat, especially a lot of conservatives who are in this chat right now, they would rather lie to themselves and think that all of the issues that we are all experiencing as a collective, as working class Americans, are caused by some fucking random law-abiding abuelas that are coming over the border to fucking find a better future for themselves and their children. They're the reason why we are feeling all of this shit. While we're feeling all this economic anxiety, they're the reason. They're causing this country to collapse, rather than actually look up and try to fucking figure out how the system is designed to keep you down. It's so stupid. Yeah, guys, Republicans don't think about their problems. You're so stupid. This guy has all the answers, you morons. No, I'm not saying I have all the answers. I'm saying that I have better answers than Donald Trump and the Republican Party. White nativist immigration policies are not the answer to your problems. Some of the most proud Americans are of Hispanic descent. I could be a fucking, I could be there. I could run for president if I wanted. I was born on this fucking soil, man. And no matter what Donald Trump does, he's not going to be able to erase that, baby. No matter what you fucking...
Through the pits of hell, my one true king.
No matter what some of you Republicans feel, no matter how hard you wish... Thank you for the anonymous gifter, and thank you for KBRS4 for gifting 5 tier subs in the community, by the way. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. No matter how hard some Republicans wish that I wasn't an American citizen, I am here, and I'm here to stay, and you can't do anything about it, buddy. Sorry, sucks to suck. That's capitalism, right? That's the capitalism motto, right? Sucks to suck. I am an American citizen. Not for long. Sure. We'll see.
I'm sorry. I'm out of control. I apologize for that.
I think the likelihood that we can, kick out, like anchor babies without a serious violent uprising, from all Americans who are sane.
I'm out of control. I apologize for that.
Is probably at the same level, is the same likelihood as a violent revolution that'll happen tomorrow, like class war. AOC is on Mad Owl. Oh shit. All right, let's see. All right, let's watch that really quickly too. How do I find that? I don't know where to fucking stream that on. The first thing that comes up when I look Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is fucking dancing. That's the first thing that comes up. There's no... Someone link it. Someone link it in the chat. Thank you, lady. Let's see what my queen has to say. My beautiful queen. My smart, beautiful, dancing queen.
Should not be asking for more money to an agency that has systematically violated human rights. The president should be really defending why we are funding such an agency at all. Because right now, what we are seeing is death. Right now, what we are seeing is the violation of human rights. These children and these families are being held in what are called hieleras, which are basically freezing boxes that no person should be maintained in for any amount of time, let alone the amount of time that they're being kept on. And moreover, even if you are anti-immigrant in this country, the majority of immigrant overstays, the majority of the reason that people are undocumented is visa overstay. It's not because people are crossing a border illegally. It is because of visa overstay, which, mind you, he's talking about legal immigration. He's trying to restrict every form of legal immigration there is in the United States. He's fighting against family reunification. He's fighting against the diversity visa lottery. He's fighting against almost every way that people can actually legally enter this country, forcing them to become undocumented, and then he's trying to attack their undocumented status. This is systematic, it is wrong, and it is anti-American. And again, those women and children trying to come here with nothing but the shirts on their back to create an opportunity and to provide for this nation are acting more in an American tradition than this president is right now.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I know this is your first time being here on this show, and I know that you have been one of the highest profile members of this new Congress, and you've got a lot of pressures on your time. Thanks for making time to be here, and I hope you'll come back.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right. Still to come, an avalanche of legal developments that we saw today. There's still a lot to get to tonight.
Let me guess. We're going to talk a lot about Russia, okay? Rachel Maddow. When we come back, we're going to talk about how Russia wrote the Trump speech. When we come back, we're going to talk about how Vladimir Putin actually wrote Donald Trump's speech on white nativist immigration policies. Okay. I'm so sad that I missed my queen, my beautiful queen Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and the incredible speech that she gave. But I just want to say something. Even though we caught just the tail end of her speech, I just want to point out something important here, okay? Look at the speech that Donald Trump gave. Now compare that speech to the speech Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi gave, and then compare that speech to the speech Bernie gave. And then look at the tail end of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's speech. Who do you think reflects your values and my values?
I'm sorry. I'm out of control. I apologize for that.
Thank you, Raphael, for gifting a sub to Ben Shapiro official. Whose values are reflected more in all four of those speeches? The establishment Democrats don't speak for the everyday American. The establishment Democrats just care about one thing and one thing only, and that is to protect their own asses and to ensure that they get reelected. And they'll do anything they can to get reelected, just nothing that you actually need. They'll do anything but the things that we actually request as voters. Okay?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm out of control. I apologize for that.
I fear for our queen. I fear for our queen, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because I don't know. She's under a fucking microscope. The liberals absolutely hate her. They constantly fucking
Excuse me.
fact check her.
I'm sorry. I'm out of control.
It's
I
like
apologize
a channel
for
that doesn't listen to chat. What do you mean, Washington Post? What the fuck are you talking about, Gene? Washington Post is here, everybody.
I'm not God.
No, Washington Post is fine. Washington Post is cool, guys. Don't get triggered that mainstream media is here, boys. Washington Post is fine. I mean, Politico is not listening to voters. Anyway, hi, Gene. I missed this. Bree Joy. Oh damn! I didn't even see this part. Holy shit! Yo, she's so He talked about what happened the day after Christmas. The day of Christmas, a child died in ICE custody. Holy shit, dude! Oh my God, she's so fucking good. She's so good. She's so fucking good, dude.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm out of control. I apologize for that.
What PewDiePie, dude? The fuck are you guys talking about? He said no one left, right? He said no one left, right, guys? Oh, you guys debated me so hard, dude. I totally believed it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the memes, boys. Anyway, look. If we had more politicians like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, imagine if the Democratic Party actually spoke to the needs of its voters, actually spoke to our needs and what we want. Just imagine if instead of Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, someone like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders stood up on that podium and said exactly what needed to be said. That instead of talking about, oh, well, we're trying to pass comprehensive legislation to ensure that the government shutdown ends once and for all, you guys, and what we need right now is not to divide the country, but to actually bring the country together, and we're going to pass bipartisan solutions. Like, there's no bipartisan solutions when this motherfucker is literally trying to justify genocide. When our border policy is basically anyone who comes through the border or dares come through the border, we're going to shoot them with tear gas, and we're going to separate their children from their parents, and some of those children are going to die in our custody. We're going to put them inside of concentration camps, basically. Like, there's no bipartisan solution at that point, you guys. There's no compromise at that point. You have to fucking take a stand. And what's really weird to me is that a lot of Americans, especially gamer Americans, something that you guys all understand and relate to, gamer Americans fucking put their feet down and fight back all the time. But they fight back against like fucking feminist bloggers. Why can't you use that energy and invest it into something that's wise, something that will actually change the material conditions and make it better for yourself, so you have a better future for yourself, so you have a better future for your children? Instead, we focus on fucking dumbass bullshit. Steve Bannon knew that gamer Americans were a very important demographic to address and cater to the needs of. That's how all the fucking 4chan bullshit started. If you guys read this book, which I put back here now, The Devil's Bargain, it talks extensively about how Steve Bannon brought Korean power farming to Goldman Sachs. And how he invested in a bunch of fucking power level farms. Andy is already at the restaurant, hanging out at the restaurant. Is he just there hella early? No, we were supposed to be there at 7, and it's already 6:53, and I lied, and I have to go now. You know what I'm going to do, actually? Hold on. I'm going to call the Uber right now, and as soon as my Uber gets here, I'm going to... Pokemon is still streaming well. I know, I'm talking to her right now. You're right. I realize that trying to talk through chat and expect debate is waste. I'll try and contact you on Discord, but you missed half of what I said. My account, Force and Greater Than the Moon, is still unrightfully banned. Weird champ. Okay. Alright, I'm calling my Uber as well. And once my Uber gets here, I'm gonna go link up with Destiny, and I'll raid Andy's channel. Okay. In the meantime, let's just set the mood, you know? Rise up, gamer Americans.
Don't let this address distract you from the fact that gamers still are a protected class under the Constitution.
Rise up, gamer Americans.
Got that.